day. If you're a public practice accountant here in Australia, you're going to want to listen up. Seriously, what we're about to talk through could completely change how you run your business. We're talking about getting beyond the usual compliance grind and building a proper, high-value advisory division. All right, let's get into it.
Look, right now, every single practice is standing at a crossroads. There are two paths you can take. Path one, well, that's the one we all know, right? The compliance highway, tax returns, BAS statements. It's bread and butter work, but let's be honest, it's becoming a commodity. But the other path, that's where things get interesting. That's the path to becoming a true advisor, a strategist. And trust me, that's where the real value and the real profit is hiding.
Let me paint you a picture. It's a great way to think about this. Imagine two dentists. First, you've got Michael. He's a technician. He does the routine cleans and fillings. It's good work, it's necessary, but it's basic. Then you've got Steven. Now, Steven does all the basics too, but he also offers the high-value stuff, the teeth whitening, the crowns, the root canals. You see the difference? He's not just a technician, he's a trusted advisor solving much bigger, more valuable problems for his patients. So just have a think about it. Which one of those dentists is making more money? Which one has clients that are going to stick with them for life? And, the really important question is, when you look at your own accounting practice, are you a Michael or are you a Steven?
Okay, so if you're starting to think, yeah, I want to be more like Steven, then you're probably wondering, just how big is this opportunity really? Well, the answer is, it is a massive, untapped gold mine. And the best part? It's sitting right there, right under your nose, inside your current client list. Let's start with the big picture, just to set the scene. The entire accounting industry in Australia, it's pulling in a whopping $27.1 billion in revenue. It's a huge, huge market. Now, let's zoom in a bit. The specific market for tax planning advisory. Right now, it's sitting at about $600 million, which, is a pretty decent slice of the pie. But that is not the whole story. Not even close. Because the real potential size of this market is estimated to be as high as $1.5 billion. Just think about that for a second. That's a gap of almost $1 billion. $1 billion in fees just being left on the table because most practices simply aren't set up to grab it. And this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? You can see that while advisory services are currently the third biggest piece, for the top firms, it is hands down their fastest growing and most profitable division. This is where the whole industry is heading. So the real question is, how do you get your piece of it? So how do you actually build this advisory division? Well, the good news is you don't have to start from scratch and try to reinvent the wheel. There's already a proven blueprint out there designed to help you do it systematically. It's called the Tax Fitness System. Now, the heart of this whole thing is a structured 10-step process. This isn't about plucking advice out of thin air. No way. It's a repeatable, reliable framework that guides you through the entire journey, from the initial setup and educating your clients, all the way through to choosing strategies and implementing them. It just guarantees quality and consistency every single time. Just think about how we used to do this, the old way. You're wrestling with these clunky, messy Excel spreadsheets. They're slow, they're full of potential errors, and let's be real, they just don't look very professional. The smart way uses dedicated software to automate the whole process, so your reports are fast, they're accurate, they're compliant, and they're professionally branded with your logo. It just instantly lifts your game. And the report itself? Oh, it is absolutely critical, because verbal advice just gets forgotten, doesn't it? But a professional report, it quantifies the exact dollar savings for your client right there in black and white. It builds massive trust, it gives them a clear roadmap for action, and it makes justifying your premium advisory fees an absolute breeze. And look, this isn't just a bit of software. It's the whole shebang. It's a complete toolkit for your practice. You get the software with a database of over 200 tax strategies, you get a proven marketing and selling system, you get checklists, videos, self-paced training courses, everything you need. And best of all, it's 100% Aussie-owned and operated. Okay, that all sounds great, I know, but let's talk brass tacks. Let's talk about the money. What does this actually mean for your practice's bottom line? Well, the numbers, they're pretty bloody compelling. So here it is, the headline promise. The system is designed to help you generate an extra $30,000 to $100,000 in fees. And that's just from the clients you already have, all within the first year. That's not finding new business. That's just unlocking the value that's already there. Now this is the real game changer. Just look at the impact on your profitability. A standard compliance-only practice. That's our baseline, at 100%. Now, if you just dabble in a bit of ad hoc advisory without a proper system, your profitability can actually drop because it's so inefficient. But you implement a systemized advisory service, you can triple your profitability, 300%. That is a massive, massive difference.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's simple, really. This isn't about that constant, soul-destroying grind for new clients. The potential for huge growth, it's already sitting right there in your database. You just need the tools to unlock it by offering them more value.
So how do you start this journey? It all begins with the decision, a decision that you want to be more than just a compliance technician. It starts by deciding you want to become that proactive, strategic advisor your clients are crying out for.
And let's be crystal clear about what we're talking about here. Tax planning isn't about dodgy schemes or loopholes. It's about the legitimate arrangement of a client's affairs to legally and ethically minimize their tax. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the highest value services you could ever possibly offer them.
So there you have it, the blueprint for building a more profitable, more valuable, and, well, a more future-proof practice. It's right here. It's waiting for you. If you're ready to make that change, all the details you need are right there.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Yeah, the extra money is fantastic. Of course it is. But the real transformation here, it's professional. It's about that shift in identity, from being the person who just lodges the forms to being the very first person your clients call when they need strategic advice. So the question is, are you ready to become your client's most trusted advisor?